Previously in Out of the Shadows. Run, Nick, run! Nicky yells. You and me can probably work as a team, sir. Nicky, don't die on me! It's okay, Nick. We will all fly away together into the beautiful and forever sky. I know what I need to do, Mr. Cooper, sir, I said. But now, right about now, I think wherever this journey takes me next, it'll be a fresh restart, to be honest. Dun 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 dun. Nick League, the Matt Dynasty. Part 1. Beginning intro, May 11th, 2023. My destiny was supposed to lead the Mustangs group. I was supposedly going to be the next Braden M. But sadly, he was leaving for good, and seeing Braden pack his stuff inside our great room, along with Miss Hunter helping him out, it felt wrong to say goodbye to Braden's intelligent mind of his anyways. But to this day, no matter what I've tried, going back in time would be another big mistake, exactly like last time. Instead, journeying to reunite with everybody will be successful, saving a good story for later would affect anything else. Months later, August 5th, 2023, Saturday. I've always wondered what it'll be like inside other groups, but lately, discovering how bad it can turn out, other than choosing the battle for my own sakes within this place called Mohegan, is better left locked away for factual reasons stating. Miss Hacker literally decided to throw a huge taco party, which had almost of chaos nature to it too. Not only that, we just got another Mustang peer, but for some stupid reason, this kid decided to act like a fool from the Spartans group, so he got stuck inside our precious team known as the Mustangs. Here's what I'm confused about. Why does this little boy have the same name as Alex, but at the same time, he's another J repeated? Speaking of Jade, you know how I said I always wonder what will be inside of her groups, or discovering how bad it can turn out? Well, recently the Dragons acted awful for whatever same old they've been up to. In fact, ever since Jade entered their group, he's totally acted bananas all summer long, as so far just for right now. He's with those Titans instead. We saw Jade enter into the movie theater when the Titans were invited by Miss Hacker. At this very second, I began thinking inside my own mind, he's gonna ruin this, he's gonna ruin this. But it turns out with those last 12 minutes watching Insidious The Red Door fell on pause because Mr. Hampton thought things could be easier to throw away a shocking but tense scene. One kid from the Vikings named Jaden wouldn't even shut up because absolutely noxious, or becoming the absolutely obnoxious person of the century, asking really stupid ass questions nevertheless, because some of those obvious questions kind of made Desmond feel the same way as well for Dianco too. That's not even my only problem either. Lately, for a long time, my mom hasn't picked up the phone ever since I called her at Boys to Men Transitional Home. Yeah, I'm starting to really think and ask myself, why do I even bother my mom anyways? Sometimes I even wish things could have been more smoother if having a bunch of strange kids inside that group home wasn't doing me dirty, or let's just say violent. You see, the first time I ever stepped into those doors, I'm kind of glad I've outran just like us. So for getting kids like Cooper, grown-ups like Miss Angie and her husband, it was a sign of relief. But obviously enough, there's always got to be somebody you don't get along with. Casey Hill is kind of a freakish individual whose job at treating others with respect can't count his daily goals 24/7. It's super stressful dealing against both odds, as Casey Hill wasn't the only one I had trouble with along the road either. Aiden Scott Johnson was a nasty weirdo, kind of like Jeffy from Super Mario Logan, except before discovering Aiden's other side flicked around. I can remember he walked straight down those stairs saying hello, then tapped away with a Chromebook OS. Also, back then, this was the actual beginning when I had a YouTube channel planned out titled Nick Bruce Productions. Since 2021 fell backwards for my old YouTube channel, when would have released the Nick Bruce movie by November 31st, 2021, I was once again beginning to rise up intentionally. Filming has never been done so many times before, but I find it extremely difficult to film with boys who desperately dislike things I do for a living. Casey Hill, for example, he gets mad about the littlest things. His interest is always something more blonde or blunt, and always the same exact thing. Aiden Scott Johnson, for example, he'll go about doing this almost casually every time, yet his motivation after film wasn't even done towards closing doors, anyways. That he's only got small advantage of realizing he'll quit, no matter when being lazy, munching onto Hot Pockets like a fat pig would enjoy himself peacefully. Just like Garfield the cat, Aiden sleeps, eats, but unlike Garfield, Aiden's favorite Xbox game is pure childish, no cap about it. I remember being so sick of him playing this stupid game over and over. It's only a matter of time before somebody else tries getting a turn on the Xbox, and by then everybody argues constantly. The funny thing about living inside an unusual crowd is that you'll never know who to trust, since being low on staff feels sort of chaotic, if chaotic was even good enough for explaining a better description. Far out 9 above God's radar spin being used. We had a staff named Miss Rosetta, who you probably heard me mention all the way back inside book 1. As a matter of particular facts, I know I said a long time ago how we'll talk about that one later. Now's the time to explain this side my good entry to the series, or the start of something bigger. Miss Rosetta was like a grandma, and she cooked some awesome foods which blasted giant taste buds, perfectly melted together. We would joke around a lot, love us, be happy every single day, or maybe not every day, honestly. Miss Rosetta was in our picture for quite some time till things began getting worse for Miss Rosetta. Miss Rosetta had a problem working with Boys Men, thanks to Brittany Johnson, the manager of Boys Men 2. Mrs. Rosetta hated and despised her straight up, and she couldn't deal with her either. Around July 2022, William Pippins and Miss Rosetta got into a full-blown argument. At the end of all this mess, she was gone for good. A tragic story, sad news for me, indeed. Mostly everything I felt left down, can't bear awful things from coming in the way, but luckily Miss Rosetta, or before Miss Rosetta did quit her job, me and Kate Norris had reunited at last. What happened was that I went back over to Caden's old YouTube channel on the Chrome OS laptop, or whatever you call it, and once I had texted him underneath the comment section, he replied. So we talked on Google Duo a lot, and he wished I hadn't screwed up for me to get sent over into the state of Ohio. The internet is a very wonderful thing, but around September, Gigi Pippins gave me a phone, I guess. After scrolling around to recruit others from California, signing on to Instagram, Snapchat, and also Facebook was game-changing. Nevertheless, until finding Caleb Johnson's Instagram account was shocking to say the least. While figuring out by now would do everybody a favor if I can ever see my old purebraided M, because I'm extra particular on how handling John and Skylar leaving me will impact what I can learn afterwards. But since me and Chris saw Steven the last time at the dentist appointment, it's about time we face the music. Chapter 1, Tuesday. For the past couple of days, our newest member of the Mustangs named Alex had caused us to get inside our rooms, so here's why. And not the Alex you knew from before. Last night or yesterday, things started off rough when Alex got a phase drop for a lot of ridiculous taken by highly effective peers known as higher phases. Whom started getting mad because of Alex triggering them over and over again. But see, even though this is the 3rd week in a row I had not earned, I just don't see why Alex thinks he's such a badass in particular. It's like he pretends that he'll fight Miss Hacker, except instead he decides to AWOL all the way to some random parking lot like a straight idiot. Then we began searching for Alex, but yet he must have hid good, as we thought at first. Then we checked inside the cafeteria, but Alex wasn't found there either. So about 10 minutes later, we eventually gave up. Hours went by, and that's when Miss McGee or Mr. Gooseby found Alex at the parking lot anyways. To make a long story short, this confirms on how we were all stuck inside our rooms all day long. Apparently, ever since Alex came into our group, he doesn't like black people, which if you ask me or anyone else, is 100% racist. Not only that, last night Alex acted like a fool because when Gooseby and Mr. Johnson showed up to prove Alex otherwise, he stopped. I'll say at least the other Alex we used to have didn't act like this while, but it is what it is. The only thing we did do today was go back to chapel, but things seriously looked like a dead end as Dr. Miller got up out to the stage, to be honest. He explained Mohegan Youngster Academy, and let me just say this once. Mohegan Youngster Academy is going to full debt, which means that this place has lost a lot of money since Dr. Hall died from 2012. William used to be the main CEO for Mohegan. Anyways, Dr. Miller continues with his speech as he says that things are going to be fine as long as we can decide to donate canteen money so that we'll have at least let this facility live. My thought process answered Dr. Miller's question. Nobody wants to stay here. And because of that, the only way we're going to save Mohegan Youngster Academy is if someone has the brains to do so. Then it hit me. What if Save Mohegan does the impossible by bringing back some old Mustang peers. I mean, at least I know someone from our group who's at Braxis, and his name is Steven. As going back into our dorms after chapel wasn't enough, when we were sitting down in my room watching the fast, which was my bad, Too Fast, Too Furious, okay, film from being played out. While the TV cord was plugged in, I asked Chris about Steven. Yeah, what about Steven, he asked. Took a moment to come up with the best answer for this brilliant idea I had in mind, so I answered, well, what if I told you that we can save Mohegan by bringing back old Mustang peers like Braden M. Well, that could be talking about past peers, sir, Chris demands. Diombre, Skylar, and Johan face towards me. Diombre, wouldn't it be talking about past peers if Nick mentions peers like Braden M. or Lavelle? Chris questions. Diombre pauses for a moment, then says, peers are allowed to ask questions, Chris. Diombre answers back. Skylar then asks, Nick, why do you think it's such a good idea to save the Academy's destiny by bringing back those other ones who moved on from their lives? Skylar begins asking, but stating at the same time, because I know if saving the future within this place's potential fits according to plan, then best believe us demanding greatness, I stated as a question mind. But what if we start causing havoc along the outs, and if we're in for something truly terrible, Johan asks. Because like the Buccaneers slogan states otherwise, one team, one mission, I answer. Everybody paused as Too Fast, Too Furious kept playing with no end pause to its fine glory. I know the journey has been rough for some of us, including me, but no matter what this adventure brings forthcoming, we still got each other's backs, and even if this technically means the end of a unforgettable group known as Mustangs, I state. Everybody so far inside my room agreed, because once Miss Mack got involved about our venture towards uniting with everyone else, she seemed convinced as a total shock. Even Mr. Gooseby agreed, yet whatever this adventure may bring, we might have to fight for what's right. Okay, I'm going to continue on with chapter 2, guys, alright? Chapter 2, Wednesday. Okay, I think I'm beginning to have second thoughts towards letting Johan and Jonathan and Chris come along this journey, because things really began getting petty with those peers anyways. Apparently, what happened was that we lined up for breakfast as usual, and we sat down at the cafeteria table. I didn't even mean to say Johan, my bad. I don't even know why I added him to that, but it's cool. Eating breakfast, Alex starts making fun of Chris's new diet. Well, all I did was mention how Chris said it's going to be a sad breakfast on his first day on the diet. Yet, for absolutely no intentional reason at all, Chris got super defensive over that major, uncalled bull crap, and instead doesn't make Alex call up group on it, but since he's got such a good reason to complain so dang much, why not have a problem every time I'm around? Plus, the way he reacts to certain things proves Pierce sticking up towards Chris being a total selfish, tall butt wad. I'll tell you guys this much. Chris wasn't my only problem to deal with either. Desmond and Mr. Taylor ended up being a source to that too. Ever since Mr. Taylor showed back up from his Tennessee vacation, he's been at his old ways nevertheless. Whenever I accidentally don't stare at this stupid Mohegan Youngster Academy handbook for about a few hours straight, Desmond tags along, and no matter if I'm feeling like he's in my personal bubble, nor harassment-wise, Mr. Taylor literally watches the whole thing unfold. Not only does Mr. Taylor watch everything he's doing, but for some absolute dumb reason, it kind of looks like he's letting Desmond do whatever he wants towards someone who's smaller than he is. Even after I'd be putting my own bare head down, I guess I'm not about to maintain self-control, obviously, which means around gym time, even coping skills aren't acceptable to maintain, with kind of proving my point across where nothing can possibly make any factual sense. I'm just super ready to leave this facility, especially when it's about time this place shuts down for good. Even while I have several privileges, zero, Skylar doesn't have any as well. I've been struggling inside Mohegan every day because nobody seems more interested in talking about where my problem is coming from. In fact, I do believe one of my own ITP goals is sobriety, and since I haven't been able to talk to Miss Johnson, the only other therapist I have talked with was Mr. Harlow, whom switched out because Mr. Matt traded me over for him. I also had some done the drugs, the drug references before in the past, until realizing I say Mr. Miss Grassman didn't have me on her list, was proving who's nothing special, period. So Johan, Diombre, Alex, and me were the only peers left inside the Mustangs' great room, which I kind of felt relieved from, since I'm at least getting a break away from certain problematic individuals' act. Even though Chris, Desmond, and Mr. Taylor was a serious problem inside today's standards, John, I forgot to mention, became nothing different after all. After coming back from Mr. Harlow's therapy session, I forgot I was still on timeout, and things got seemingly dicey when I asked John for a eraser since I left more of mine inside the bedroom. Yet asking a staff Mr. Taylor to go ask John a simple question wouldn't be much of a hassle now, would it? Of course, once I began asking Skylar to circle up, I planned on getting off timeout, but after doing everything else, Chris decided to put something on the table which made me realize this guy has zero proof of what can make any sense day to day. Chris explains I triggered him when I started raising my voice too loud. Until you really think that believing a complicated man like Chris is worth listening over, right? Oh, heck nah. Because at this point, peers like him or Desmond just love getting through your own head, no cap whatsoever. And so when Chris finishes somewhat evidence he faked that by being or explaining when I triggered him about being loud. It's gotten a lot worse since I was being putting facts onto the table. Like when I was totally not even trying to do him dirty, Dianco disagreed as a matter of fact. See, Nick, as I thought you at least understood what peers are saying to you, it failed for yourself to realize them explaining this type of stuff wouldn't say you circling up for a formal group anyways, Dianco states, as he's never realized what goes on behind the scenes, just saying. And you wonder why Chris does what he does, because he's always coming back to be misunderstood, as Desmond states otherwise. Chris said I kicked something, and I really thought he was gonna win this one, but luckily he misunderstood, which almost got me cussing out a brainstorm. After we circled up, I would rather sit right next to the foosball table, or the foosball table, my bad, but it turns out I didn't feel like it's worthy of sitting right next towards Chris and John playing 1v1. Only perspective being that Jonathan was talking behind my back, but you know how I find that all so stupid? Yeah, John began talking about me, hearing John saying something like, I'm getting really sick of him, Chris. Even if I caught anyone saying something or doing stuff to me, my bad. They'll always play shocked every single time. So I moved to another table instead, just to avoid negativity. Now I find it super obnoxious when Joe Nathan plays best friend with Chris himself, just to make myself jealous. They started making goofy noises and sounds. Then John stole all the jokes and sounds I used to make with him. So let's keep it low for now. Once John's graduation comes up, I'm definitely skipping his message he let me say before he leaves Mohegan for being shut down forever at last. It got bad when John and Chris started acting extremely bananas. Still, nothing can bother me since I kept my cool by ignoring these dumbass peers from making me go bananas myself. During dinner, we sat down and munched on some food. It isn't... Hold up, guys. Hold up. What?
You're cool.
I'm writing a podcast.
Oh, I was say, can you call somebody real quick?
No, I'm good right now because I'm trying to do something. Sorry, guys. I was had to handle something real quick, but yeah. So let's continue. All right, guys, hold up. What?
Can I use the bathroom? I don't use that upstairs bathroom.
What are you talking about? You're supposed to use this bathroom.
No, I can use this one too. Because I don't like that one. That door opens.
Okay, well, I'm trying. Can I finish up?
Hurry up.
Can I finish up what I'm doing? You always have to interrupt what I gotta do.
I have to use it. That's what I'm trying to say. I have to use it.
Okay, bro.
No rude way, but I'm just saying.
No, you got your wish. You got your wish.
And so what?
You did get your wish, so it's cool. Okay, bro, I'm not gonna argue with you. Bye. Sorry, guys. I was completely interrupted. I can't even make my video in the bathroom, even though he doesn't use that bathroom at all. But you know, it's some petty stuff. I ain't gonna argue. But anyways, guys, I do want to continue, but unfortunately, I have to go since I have other things to do, and I guess my time was wasted. So I'll catch you guys back up in the next episode for this because sadly I have to go, like I said. And I can't really think how straight I am when I'm trying to make videos. And every time I'm interrupted, it's like every 3 books or so, I get interrupted. But it's cool. So, just want to let y'all know that, as a matter of fact. Ain't going to mention the person's name, ain't going to do that, because that's not my dignity to do so. But I'm just letting y'all know, it is not cool as I'm walking back into the bathroom that I have to restart everything I have to do, but I'm not going to do that since I'm going to end it like this. So we're going to continue on with chapter 1 later into the story, and then we're going to change up the way we talk because I ain't going to lie, I cussed a little too much in this episode, but don't blame me. since I tried my best anyways. But yeah, so I guess I have to go anyways because, like I said already, I mean, I don't really got enough time, or do I? No, I don't. Okay, it's cool, y'all. I'm just about to walk out and continue on to the next episode, I guess. So, yeah, but peace out. Like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification button. And I'll catch you guys back up in the next episode because, man, I can't wait to get the heck out of this group home so I can start making videos, like, properly, you know what I'm saying? Without getting interrupted 24/7 and trying to restart a new video. So, yeah. Because you can blame that right now here. So, don't just sit there and wait. Just hit the like button. Because it'll make no use to not hit that button, you know what I'm saying? So, peace out and about.